Hello, hello. All right, let's get started. Oops, wrong screen. I wanted to share my sound. There we go. Now let's get started. Get started. Okay, let's get started. Hi, everyone. Welcome to, let's start. Welcome to 5 steps to create your 2022 visibility plan. With me, Alexandra Figueredo, the founder of Visibility Vixens, and I'll share more in a minute about what Visibility Vixens is. So today we're going to connect to your mission and vision. We're going to reflect on 2021 to assess what worked and what didn't. We're also going to dive into the 5 steps to create your visibility plan. 4 is simple mindset shifts for taking inspired action. And a bonus visioning exercise. All right, so for many of you, you know who I am. You've seen me on social media. I'm like the dancing lady. I kind of have these fun and extra videos. And, you know, I just kind of put myself out there. I've been putting myself out there more and more. And I'm just, you know, a lot of you know me as this person. I'm just saying hi to those who are on YouTube. And the reality is that this is actually who I was for many, many, many years. I was so, and even just feeling this right now, just tapping into that energy. I was scared of being seen. I was scared of putting myself out there. I didn't really want to show my vulnerable side. I really didn't, I wanted to portray something that I thought others wanted me to be and wasn't really comfortable being me. And some of you may know that I had debilitating fear of public speaking for many years. For most of my life, actually, I had a traumatic incident when I was a child. Actually, a couple traumatic incidents when I was a child, speaking in public or being on stage. And I think that that really screwed me up. Who here has felt who has felt that, any type of fear around putting themselves out there, stepping into the spotlight, being on stage? I definitely have. So, and hi, we're just welcoming everyone who's here on Zoom and also on the YouTube live. Yes, so this was me. And I know many of you have shared, many of you have shared with me the same sentiment of feeling like this, not wanting to put themselves out there and really be seen. So some of you actually have been kind of seeing me since I was a young performer artist. And here I am as a little kid. And what's interesting is that despite the fear of putting myself out there, I've been a performer. I've been a journalist since high school. I've been a blogger for at least 15 years now. And I self-published my first book 10 years ago, and that became a bestseller. And I have another bestseller that I co-authored with as a collaboration. And so I've put myself out there as far as my message, but it was always in my words written mostly. Yes, I did perform. I was in musical theater, but it wasn't my voice. So I had to do the work to figure out how I was going to get my voice out there. And I developed and I learned many tools, like I actually took hypnosis or did hypnosis. I learned other modalities and tools and just got myself out there despite the fear, like even today, I still have fear of speaking in large groups. And some people say that that goes away. And I think that as long as you're pushing yourself, or I'll say for myself, as long as I'm pushing myself to be in front of larger and larger and bigger stages, I think it's okay. I think it's okay to have a little bit of that fear. That means I care. And so over the years, I've been published in multiple publications like the New York Times, Business Insider, Natural Awakenings, Career Builder, CBS News, Miami Herald, and countless other digital media publications and multimedia publications over the years. So even though I had that fear, the debilitating fear of speaking, I still managed to get myself in front of stages and in front of publications and media, and just so grateful for that. And really, and I have to say this, and I say this humbly, and it's partially because I was a publicist for many years, that I actually got this media coverage pretty easily. So I know that, pushing myself and putting myself out there definitely reaps benefits, reaps results. And again, despite the fear, despite the debilitating fear of public speaking, I was able to get in front of, have a web TV show. I've been featured in lots of TV programs. As I mentioned, I was a publicist for many years with one of my big clients was Samsung Latin America. I met lots of celebrities. I've actually worked with other celebrities and public figures as well, and got to travel all over the world. Samsung was just one of my clients. I also had many other multinationals as clients. And so I got to really share and help other clients' messages and their brands, and then also was able to put myself out there, learn how to put myself out there as well. And again, despite the fear, I got in front of lots of stages. And interestingly, over the last 2 years, I haven't spoken in person, but I've now developed my online presence. I actually have been doing more and more summits and different programs, different events where I'm putting myself out there in larger and larger numbers. I literally just had a snack right before coming on here. And I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Hello. Okay, so also, as I mentioned, I'm the author of 2 Amazon best-selling books, contributor for numerous publications. I'm a Happy for No Reason trainer with Marcy Scheimoff, who was in The Secret. I hosted my own summit last year featuring multiple New York Times bestselling authors, including Marcy. Hopefully, I'll be hosting a summit this year as well. I became a dance instructor, belly dance and Zumba, and I started a cause called the Abundance Movement, which is really about supporting underserved women and girls through therapeutic arts. And today I'm a brand and visibility coach and the founder of Visibility Vixens. And based on my own story, my journey, what I've overcome and who I help other female entrepreneurs who resist visibility and sales, who resist being seen, to overcome their challenges and implement strategies that help you grow your visibility and business while having fun, freedom, and impact. All right. So enough about moi. Let's dive into let's dive into the class today. So today we're going to be creating our 2022 visibility plan. So I wanted to set an intention for this class. So a lot of times I pull an inspiration card before one of my classes. And today I pulled for us a card that is of the goddess Sarasvati. She's an Indian or Hindu goddess. And it says the arts, and it says express yourself through creative activities. So I don't believe that there are ever any coincidences. And so it was interesting. I did pull this card, and as I was talking about the abundance movement that I started, it really reminded me of, my bigger mission and cause of really helping women express themselves, but by me expressing myself. So just as I was sharing my story of, even despite the debilitating fear, me continuing to put myself out there, express myself. For example, I not only am doing this on Zoom, I'm testing live streaming on YouTube. This is the first time I've ever done that, right? So I'm constantly trying to push myself to share my message with more people, try new things, see what works, see what's working and what's not working. So anyways, I thought that hopefully that inspires you to express yourself even more. And then what is your intention and goal for this class? Like, what would you like to, what would you like to get out of it? Maybe what would you like to give, right? Like maybe if you're a giver, maybe you want to support others energetically or just sharing, whatever it is. What's your big intention? And now's a good time to say, if you don't have a journal or something to write with, I suggest that you do, because we're going to be, this is interactive and it's reflective. So I do want you to be, to be on your, to get some type of a pad or paper. Now, I did this class, the first one, on Monday. So I actually did do these exercises. I'll probably do some, because sometimes it's good to go back and see what you wrote and see if there's anything else, right? So I'm going to be doing the exercises along with you. All righty. So because this is interactive, I do encourage you, if you want, to share in the comments. I am always happy for you to share in the comments, but you don't have to. So I'm actually going to do, this was the bonus visioning exercise. I'm actually going to do this first. And this is something new. If you attended the session on Monday, I didn't do this. So this is something new for whoever is watching this. So what I want you to do is close your eyes if you can. If you're not driving or doing something that you can't close your eyes. So close your eyes. Go ahead and close your eyes. And just take a few breaths. Calm the nervous system. Slow down. Slow breathing. And I want you to imagine if, let's say, 12 months from now, if all of your dreams could come true, you ask that magic genie for all of your wishes, and anything that you want, even if it's something that you thought wasn't possible for another 5 or 10 or 20 years, let's imagine that all of it is possible now. And so 12 months from now, it's January 22nd, 2023. Think about all of the things that you've accomplished. What does your business look like? Who are you working with? Who are you serving? How are you getting out there? How are you putting your message out there? Like, are you on social media? What does your social media look like? Are you being interviewed by big publications? Remember, it's all possible right now. It's all possible. Are you in national news, international news? Are you on TV? Are you on radio? Who are your ideal partnerships? Who are you working with? What are you doing for work? How are you serving people? Like, what products and services are you creating that just generate so much income and serve so many people? Are you philanthropic? Are you donating to causes, or maybe you've created your own charity? Nothing is too big of a dream. It is all happening. Maybe you've changed your work schedule. Maybe you were working 8 to 10 hours before per day. And now what does your work schedule look like? Do you only work like 2 to 3 hours a day? Or maybe you're doing what you love and you don't care. What does your family life look like? Your friends? Who's supporting you? Who's supporting your business and who's supporting you at home? I want you to continue to think about what is possible. What else is possible? Just another 20, 30 seconds. What else? What else are you manifesting? Homes, cars, trips, new wardrobe, a TV show, a talk show. What else? What else? What else? Now I'm going to give you just like a minute. You're welcome to open your eyes and write down everything that came up for you, the highlights, the cliff notes. Give you a minute to do that. And this is going to be helpful for the next following set of questions. But this has hopefully got your juices flowing on what is possible. Okay. Amazing. I hope you feel good because I feel good. And just remember that I believe in the power of possibility, and yes, of course, we can't manifest everything that we want in a split second. I think that that would probably not be a good thing, right? Even if we wanted it, it wouldn't be good if we got everything right now. So, but I do believe that everything is possible. And so I'm glad that hopefully you thought and you dreamed big here. Part of what we're doing today is making sure that this isn't a dream anymore. Whatever it is that you desire, we want to make it a reality. And I do that by creating intentions, setting intentions, and creating a plan. Now, I just wanted to preface all of this by saying that I do believe that we can plan and we can set intentions, and that's not always going to happen, right? Like whatever we set the intention isn't always going to happen. I think that the phrase is we plan and God laughs, something like that. However, I've seen proof of this in my life and in my client's life. By setting intentions, creating the plan, a lot of times something way better comes about, something way bigger or better or more aligned with our goals. I'll just share a really quick story. I mentioned that I developed the Visibility Vixens community, and that was based on something that I envisioned a little over a year ago, which started as the Abundance Circle. That was the original community. And I put it out there. I'm not going to say it failed, but it didn't garner the attention that I desired. And so I tweaked it and all of that. And then in August 2021, I had actually put it aside. I wasn't putting a lot of focus and attention on it, but I did want to develop the community. And so in August 2021, actually at the end of August 2021, this idea came out in my mind in a visualization, the name Visibility Vixens, and I could not put it aside. I could not stop thinking about it. And about a month or two later, I developed it, I put it out there, and I started putting a lot of content and creation into that. And now I have this beautiful community, and I'm starting to attract more and more people into this community. And it's just something that started as an idea, an intention a little over a year ago and evolved, but it became better than I could have ever imagined. And so I think that that's just my little anecdotal story that I want to share with you all. Okay, so let's continue. So step 1 is to connect to your mission and your vision. So this visioning exercise that we just did is going to help you, like, because you've already, like, your juices are already flowing, you're into possibility already. So we're going to have 3 sets of questions. I'm going to just show them to you right now real quick so that you see, but we're going to focus on one at a time. So the first is your mission, your purpose. The second is your vision for your business. And the third is visibility for your business. But I want us to start just on one at a time, because I'm going to give you about a minute and a half or so, a minute and a half per question, so that you could start writing down. Now, hopefully you already got some of these ideas from the exercise that we just did. So if you could wave a magic wand, where would you like to be over the next 12 months with your mission and purpose? Now, I didn't bring this up in the visualization exercise, but your mission and your purpose is like your greater calling, right? Like for me, that greater calling that I have is to fully express myself and to help others fully express themselves, their passion, their purpose, right? So actually what I'm doing, and then I'm helping other women do what I'm doing. So that's my bigger, greater, because really what I want is for there to be more passion and purpose and peace on the planet. Ultimately, that's my greater mission and purpose. So I'm just going to give us about a minute and a half, and go ahead and write down all that you come up with. You can wave a magic wand back to, our genie, or you can make that wish. What would your mission and your purpose look like? Go ahead and write that down now. Okay, another 10 seconds. Begin to wrap up that first one. Alrighty. Now the next one is your vision for your business. So we already kind of talked about it a little bit in the visioning exercise. So let's get a little more concrete, right? So what does your business look like over the next 12 months? Like, let's say step into January 22nd of next year. And who are you serving? How are you serving them or the people that you work with? What does your business look like? And let's just take another minute or two on that. By the way, I'm giving you not a lot of time for each of this because I want you to go with like your highest vision. What's most optimal? What do you really desire? I don't want you to think too much about this. I want you to go with what is in your heart. What do you desire? Okay, another minute on this. We're writing down your vision for your business over the next 12 months. Oops. All right. Begin to wrap up number 2. And I already accidentally hit the last one. So we're going to now go into visibility for your business. So when I say visibility for your business, I'm talking about how are you marketing yourself? How are you getting leads? Maybe you're not doing anything. Maybe all you're doing is getting word of mouth referrals, right? I feel like those who are in my community are probably want to be out there speaking on social media or in the media, but I'm just putting it out there. Like, what is it? So, it could be again, like it could be word of mouth. It could be social media. It could be maybe you have a team, you hire an entire team to help you with your marketing. Maybe you're a nationally recognized media source. So you're on TV shows and, on different interview, you're an expert for different media publications. What is it? What is it for you? Right. And I want you to go with what it is that you really love to do. And even if it pushes you a little bit, like, for example, I mentioned earlier, I had debilitating fear of speaking, and yet I still recognize how powerful being on TV is, right? Despite my fear. So let's go ahead and write down, I'll give you another, like a minute and a half to write down how are you getting visibility for yourself and your business? Okay, now I'm going to give you like another 30 seconds or so to just fill in any of the other areas that you didn't get to, your mission, your purpose, your vision for your business, and your visibility. Give you 30 seconds to fill in any of those if you didn't finish. And if you choose, you're welcome to type in the chat if you'd like any of those, maybe something that a big takeaway or something big that came up from this particular exercise. You don't have to, but if you want to, you're welcome to, and I will share. Okay. So for me, one thing that came up that was really cool is some of you know that I'm developing my YouTube channel. And a big thing that came up for me was for visibility was having collaborations with other YouTubers. So on a lot of platforms, the way that a lot of big platforms or big accounts grow is by collaborating with other accounts. And so this is the first time it occurred to me, like, oh yeah, I should be collaborating with other YouTube accounts. So that's one thing that came up for me. All right. So that was step number 1, is to connect to your mission and your vision. Step number 2 is let's reflect on what worked and what didn't work in 2021. Now, this is important. I'm a big fan of the 80-20 rule. It's called the Pareto Principle. For those of you who don't know, that means that like it's been, mathematically, I don't know if it's called proven, but it's a mathematical like statistic that shows that a lot of times when you put, let's say 20% of your effort results in 80% of your results. And then it could be, you can use that mathematical equation for anything. It could also be like 80% of your effort goes to 20%, like let's say like the 20% of your annoying customer service requests take up 80% of your time. Okay, I'm just using that equation. It could be the other way around too. And so just using that, I like to say, okay, so let's look at like what worked in the past, and let's bring that in. Let's bring that into this year. Do more of what worked in the past, and potentially tweak or let go of what didn't work. And I'm also going to include here the prior 3 years, and here's why. Because for some of us, including myself, I stopped doing in-person events and I am almost completely online. However, I historically have gotten the majority of my clients have come from in-person events. So I got most of my leads and most of my clients from in-person events. So if I reflect back on 2021, there's nothing of in-person, but I know that if events start to open up again, I'd like to start to attend and speak at events this year. So that's just one little example there. So I'd like you to list all the strategies and tactics that worked. So look at how you got your leads, what worked in your business, and write all of them down. And then once you've written all of them, I want you to rank them. So like this strategy worked number 1, this strategy worked number 2, right? So I'm going to give us a couple minutes for that. And if you aren't sure about that, type in the chat if you're not sure what I mean by this, but hopefully you all get it. Just write all the strategies or tactics. Again, word of mouth could be one, social media marketing, Clubhouse, media exposure, speaking, all of those things are examples of strategies or tactics that worked to help you in your business, to help you grow your business and your visibility. All right, let's get started. And if you're done, go ahead and type them in the chat. What worked? And rank them. Okay, another 30 seconds. All righty. So for me, number one is live events. So interestingly, even though they weren't in-person events, which historically has been my best, referral source for clients, hosting actually there's a distinction. In the past, it was being a speaker at other people's events. Now it's my own live events that have become the number one referral source, at least over the last year in particular. So you see that there was a shift. Before I wasn't. So that's something that's worked for me. And now I want you to list all the strategies and tactics that did not work. And by not work, it doesn't mean that they sucked, to put it frankly. It just means that maybe it's something that you tried, but you didn't get momentum in that area. So as an example, for me, TikTok is one thing that hasn't really worked as far as a strategy for, I haven't really gotten a lot of followers from it. I haven't really gotten a lot of, energy from TikTok. So that's just an example. So list all the things that you've tried or done over the last year. And you can also include 3 years if necessary. And write all those down. What did not work? All right, give you a minute or two for that. Okay, another 30 seconds. All righty. So that was step number 2, what worked and what didn't work. Okay, so step number 3 is let's brainstorm all the strategies to bring into 2022. Now, before you hopefully you don't get overwhelmed by that, but we're gonna break it down so that so that we can come up with some ideas in each specific category. So take a look at the strategies that you wrote down from the previous, in the previous step, the strategies that worked, and I had you rank them. So I want you to check out, what you wrote there and which of those strategies would you like to bring into 2022? Maybe it's all of them. Maybe there's something that worked, but you're not really super thrilled about it. You don't really want to bring it in anymore. That's totally fine. Or maybe you don't, maybe it was like your biggest strategy, but you actually like it the least. So maybe you'll continue doing it, but you're just going to try to like taper it down. So I'll just give you like a minute to review what you wrote and find out which of the strategies that worked would you like to bring into 2022. All right, let's go. I'll give you another 10, 20 seconds. All righty. Now, the next question is, which of the strategies that didn't work can you tweak or revise? So the example that I mentioned is TikTok. TikTok hasn't really been a good use of my time, energy, and focus. So what could I do to tweak that? What I could do to tweak that is to spend more time on it, except that it hasn't really, I don't feel like it's given me that much benefit. So I don't really think I need to tweak it or revise it right now. That's just an example. If it's something that you're really passionate about doing that didn't work, what can you do to tweak it or revise? And if it doesn't, then let me see if that's the next question. Yeah. Then what I would suggest is that if you can't tweak it or revise it, or you really don't want to do it anymore, then that's something I would suggest that you just chuck, right? Like you just don't do it anymore. So go through your list of what didn't work, and for each of them, see what can you tweak or revise to maybe make it work, or make a note if it's something you definitely don't want to do, or maybe put very little of any time into it. Okay. All right, let's give you a minute or two to do that and begin. Okay, another 20 seconds. All right. Actually, so as I decided I'm going to do this exercise again. So I'm actually doing this along with you. And one thing that came up, so LinkedIn is another platform for me that I haven't really gotten momentum using LinkedIn. I just kind of use it just similar to TikTok as a place I post on there, but I'm not really gaining any traction. So one thing I thought of is that as I post educational posts on other platforms, like let's say on my YouTube and on my Instagram, I can post those educational posts on LinkedIn. I haven't really been doing that too much now. So, maybe that will help me gain some traction. And part of this exercise today is for us to look at what's working and do more of what's working, and what's not working. And again, either tweak it to see if it can work, or just don't have it as part of your strategy. Don't give it much attention, right? A lot of times we put attention into something we think we need to do, but it's not really that great for our business. I don't want you to spend time on something that isn't working. Only caveat, actually, I'm always misusing the word caveat. The only thing I would say is if it's something you love to do, right? If it's something you love to do, then let's find a way to make it work, right? Like maybe we can tweak or revise it. But if it's not something you love to do and it's not working because somebody told you to do it, my suggestion is not to focus on it. Okay, so the next thing is, what strategies and tactics would you like to test in 2022? So these are things that maybe these are the things that people told you, hey, you should do this, right? Or maybe it's something you've always been interested in, like Clubhouse, maybe. For me, it's YouTube. I've had a YouTube channel, but I never put any attention into it. Well, I'm finally putting attention into it. And so I just started a couple of months ago to put attention into it. And that's why I'm streaming on YouTube right now. It's something I'm testing. I'm testing. So in 2022, my big thing I'm testing is YouTube. What is it that you would like to test in 2022? Let's go ahead and by test, I'm talking about something to grow your business, a visibility strategy. Maybe it's going after podcasts, more podcasts, or maybe it's putting attention into one specific social media platform. What is it for you? Let's go ahead and get started. All right, another 10 seconds. Begin to wrap up. All righty. All right, so now in step 4, we're gonna narrow down the strategies so that we can have some focus. So take a look at what you wrote down for step 3 of the strategies that you'd like to bring into 2022, and also maybe what didn't work that you could tweak that you want to put some attention into. So what are the top 3 strategies that you want to focus on in 2022? For me, it's live events, collaborations, and other and different venues and different places to speak. And that's very, very wide, because that could be like events, podcasts, Clubhouse, but just other opportunities for me to speak on other people's stages. So those are my top 3 for 2022. What are your top 3 strategies you're going to focus on in 2022? Let's get started. And if you're done, go ahead and type in the chat, what are your top 3? Give you another 30 seconds. All right. And then I want you to think about, what is one thing you'd like to test in 2022? So of the things that and that, I guess what could be something you test is maybe something that didn't work also. That could be. But I want you to test one thing. And here's why this is important. Because I want you to push yourself. If you're only doing things that are working for you, then how do you know what else could potentially be working for you, right? It was by me testing YouTube that I realized, hey, I'm gaining traction in YouTube, and there could actually be something here. So what is one thing you'd like to test in 2022? And maybe you wrote a lot of things. Get the one thing. Now, what I'm doing here is this is a way for you to focus your strategy. This is by no means I'm saying this is the only things you're going to work on in 2022. I just want you to go back to the 80-20 rule. I want you to put most of your attention on these things. I will say one thing. I've been putting a lot of attention lately on my YouTube channel, right? But YouTube is my testing, which is really cool. I like it. However, by putting a lot of attention on what I'm testing, I realized over the last week or two that I'm not putting as much attention on the other strategies, on my top 3 strategies. Now, I've literally just come off of 3 months of doing challenges and live events and other things where I've been putting myself out there a lot. So I have compassion for myself. So I'm totally fine with it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I realized, I think it was yesterday or today, that I was putting so much attention on my YouTube, which is something I'm testing, right? It's something I'm developing. And so we always want to make sure we're putting our focus and attention on the strategies that are working, and then carve out some time to test. but not put so much attention on what's testing. This is what I'm calling, this is part of that whole like shiny object syndrome, right? I mean, I have been there. I know what it is. I have done it many times where I spend a lot of time on all these things that I'm starting to develop, but nothing is really gaining traction in any one area. That's the opposite of what I'm suggesting that you do, right? I would suggest that you work on what is working, focus on what is working mostly, and then take one of those shiny objects, and put attention into one of those shiny objects and develop that. Okay. And then if you've got a little extra time, then you can use that on other things that are working or other things that you want to test. But most of your focus, most of your strategy should be on the things that work. So when you're done, I'm going to give you some time for this last question, or maybe you already know what it is. And if you're done, you can type in the chat, what are the 3 strategies that you're going to focus on, and what is your one thing you'd like to test in 2022? All right, let's go. Okay, another 30 seconds. All right. Okay, so now that you've got your 4 things that you're going to be focusing on 2022, the next and final step is to break each of these down into actionable steps. Now, what I want you to do is for each one, and I'm going to give you like, I think, let's say 30 to 40 seconds for each. So I think we're going to go about 3 minutes on this exercise. For each of the 4 strategies, break it down into big actions to focus on over 90 days, 30 days, and 1 week. So as an example, for me, for YouTube, over the next week, I'm going to do some keyword research on YouTube. I'm going to start posting on a cadence over 30 days. I want to double my subscribers. I only have at the moment about 101 subscribers. So I want to double my subscribers. And then by 90 days, I want to get to, let's say, triple my subscribers. So, and little things like that. I want you to do for each of the different strategies. I want you to come up with a, actually what I just said were some big goals, some actionable steps that you could take. For me, then over 30 days is maybe getting my first collaboration. So maybe it's reaching out to somebody and doing a collaboration with somebody on YouTube. That's more of an actionable step I want you to focus on rather than like some big goals. Okay. So this is about taking action. All right. So let's get started. Okay, another 30, 40 seconds. Begin to wind down, wrap up. Another 10 seconds. Okay, now I just thought of this. I didn't do this in my last one, but what I'd like you to do, I'm going to give you a minute I want you to either create a task or put in your calendar all the things that you wrote in for the first week that you're going to do over the next week. I want you to either create a task right now in this moment or put a post-it or something. I want you to create some type of a task or put it in your calendar for all the things that you wrote in your week. Okay, I'm going to give you a minute and let's get started. All righty. So what I did is I created a calendar entry on Monday at a specific time, and I'm going to go through and do all my things for my week, the first week, because it's all good to come up with this plan, but if you don't actually do it, then it's not meaningful. Okay. So with that, we're going to wrap with, thank you so much. I have one last final thing I wanted to share with you, upcoming events that we have coming up, and I forgot to do a slide on this, so sorry about that. You're going to have to hear me. We've got a couple of really cool things coming up in the next couple of weeks. And we have a challenge coming up on the second week of February. And I will be sending out details. I totally forgot to add a slide because I just decided on the dates yesterday and I forgot. Sorry about that, but it'll be a good one. The title is something like three strategies to get your reels to go viral or your videos to go viral. So I thought that was a really, really cool one. And then also wanted to introduce a new program that I'm launching. It is the Visibility Vixens Club. And for those of you who have been in my network, you might have heard me refer to this as the Visible AF Club. I decided to call it Visibility Vixens Club. It just is much more on brand, makes much more sense. And so I have my inner circle, which is my group coaching program. And this is the club, which is an extension of that. And what this does is you'll get one visibility group training session per month led by me. So it's an intensive training. Next month, February's training is going to be on Clubhouse. And so that's going to be how to grow your Clubhouse, how to get leads and clients from Clubhouse. By being on Clubhouse, I actually grew my Instagram 40%. I got 40% of my followers grew from Clubhouse, which is huge. It's huge. So I've gotten clients from Clubhouse. I've gotten on stages. I've met incredible people. I was just on a stage. I was just invited on stage. I think it was yesterday. Oh my gosh. Yes, it was yesterday. No, I don't know, 1 or 2 days ago. I can't remember now. I got on stage. Somebody, a really, really well-known Clubhouser, that he has like 1 million followers on Instagram. He's a very, very well connected Clubhouser and Instagrammer, invited me up on his stage to speak. This was just a couple of days. By growing your authority, you get on other people's stages. So this is part of what we're going to be talking about on this training. It's an intensive, and then you get to ask all your questions that you want. So that's what I will be doing, one of these a month. And you're going to get access to all the club training recordings. So we've got content on how to grow your Instagram. We have content on how to create your content. We've got a lot of things on different visibility tactics. In the future, I know we're going to be doing one on how to grow your YouTube. So all the things I'm learning and testing myself, I'm going to be sharing with you all. And then one of the other things which I think is priceless is that we have a WhatsApp social media engagement thread where you can be putting, anytime you post on social media, you have the opportunity to share it with us so that we can all love, comment, like on your posts. So I think that's super valuable. And the Visibility Vixens Inner Circle also has this. So you're going to be not only with the club, but you're going to have access to others in the community, all the other Visibility Vixens. So I think this is a super valuable, I think it's priceless because it really allows you to engage with your fellow Vixens. And so the investment for the club is $97 per month. And this is monthly, it's a subscription. So you just are ongoing. So you can cancel at any time. And I also have a full pay option. So if you invest for 1 year, it's $997. And once again, you get access to that in-depth monthly training and all the club recordings, all the trainings from all the club recordings, all the recordings from all the club trainings are also part of that. And I have a fast action bonus, which if you choose to join the club, I'm going to be offering VIP upgrades to all my challenges, all of my Facebook challenges that I host, which are super valuable. Those not only have a training, but you get the recordings to the training and you get the coaching. So right after I offer coaching to help you, to help you really internalize and elevate your practice based on whatever the training is for that challenge. And so that's the option if you act fast. And if you're doing the subscription model, it's going to be valid as long as you're an active member. So I'm going to type this in the chat now in a minute, but to get into join the Visibility Vixens Club, you would go to alexanderfigueredo.com/VV Club. And you have the options are right there. And also, if you'd like to speak to me about whether it's a good fit for you, I've opened up my calendar over the next few days, and you can go to calendly.com/Alexander Figueredo. And just permit me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and type in the chat so that you have those, so that you have those and I do hope that you'll join. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I would love for you to be part of the Visibility Vixens community. With that, I would love to hear, before we wrap, what was your biggest takeaway from today? Go ahead and type in the chat. What was your biggest takeaway? Maybe an aha that you had, or maybe just something that that really supported you. I'd love to hear. I know for me, going through these questions again, I actually got a couple of insights that I didn't have, like I mentioned about the collaborations on YouTube that didn't come to me until today. And also just redoing the questions helped me solidify the, my plan for this year and what I'm going to be focusing on. And I think that's so, so important. It's not to say that 6 months from now, I might change things, right? Or maybe 3 months from now, something else happens. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to pivot and I want to do something else. But at least I know this year, the things that I'm going to focus on and the things I'm going to be testing to really grow my visibility and grow my business in 2022. All right. So it's so lovely. I'm so happy that you joined me today, and have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your weekend. Mwah! Big hugs to you, and I will see you soon. Bye, everyone.